بنفع مستعملا ليس. So all the questions here basically you have to answer using the negative and then using LISA. So you have somebody ask a question, you're going to answer in replying the negative, saying la, and then using this LISA in its correct form, and then reply the rest, right? So let's look at the first one. Amuhandisun abuka. Amuhandisun abuka. Is your father an engineer? Is your father an engineer? So again, the instruction is to answer the negative. We say la huwa laisa bimuhandisin. La huwa laisa bimuhandisin. So we use laisa in its original form because this form is really third person singular masculine, which is what we are using here, right? Al muhandis. Right, speaking about abuka, so the person you're talking to is not this person you're talking about. So abuka is talking about the person's father. So the person's father is not involved in this conversation. So it's third person. Of course, it's singular, it's father, and of course, it's masculine, it's father, right? So muhandisun abuka. So we use third person masculine singular, laisa. So we say la huwa laisa bimuhandisin. Right, good. Anybody want to try the others? Welcome F9. Let me see who we have here. We have Shazim, Shun, Farid, Amin, who else? Nathaniel, Rustam, Sharif, Ayub, Latif. Right. And Brother Omar. Right, so who want to try? Number 2. I'll read you a question. Amudarrisatun ummuka. Amudarrisatun ummuka. Nuri, you want to try and answer that one? لا هي ليست هي ليست بمدرسة. So the answer to this one is لا هي ليست. We use the feminine singular third person form of ليست. So we add the ta at the end and you put the sukun on it, so you get ليست. لا هي ليست بمدرسة. Right, number 3. Let's go with, let me call out somebody there. Right, Imam. Imam, want to try this one? Number 3. At-tullabun ikhwatuka. At-tullabun ikhwatuka.
لا ليسوا بإخوتك.
Tullabin.
لا ليسوا بطلاب.
Good.
لا ليسوا بطلاب.
نعم. أحسن. أممرضات أخواتك. أممرضات أخواتك. بباسط.
لا هم ليسوا
كنا
لا كنا ليسوا
لسنا
بممرضات.
Right, so number 4 is أممرضات أخواتك. So the answer is la hunna, because mumarridat is feminine plural third person. So we have to use hunna. Okay? So la hunna lasna. Lasna. So we use the form third person, feminine plural. Lasna. La hunna lasna bi mumarridatin. Mumarridat means nurses. Nurses. Alright? Good. Rakam khamsa. Anybody want to try that one? Zainab and Salma around? Let's try it.
I don't have anybody in class today, Asim.
All right, all right. All right, anybody else want to try it? Afsana around? Where's Afsana? رقم 5 أمدرس أنت أمدرس أنت. Going once, going twice. All right, nobody taking it? All right, there's a simple one. Amudarrisun anta, are you a teacher? The answer is la. Lastu bi mudarrisin. Simple. I am not a teacher. Amudarrisun anta, la. Lastu bi mudarrisin. Right? Ajududun antum, ajududun antum. Are you all new? Right? You say la. Lasna بجدد لسنا بجدد أجديدة سيارتك أجديدة سيارتك. Is your car new? Is it a new car? Is your car new? The answer is لا ليست بجديدة ليست بجديدة. It's feminine. سيارة is a feminine word, right? Third person singular, so we use ليست. Good. So we're going on here, we're skipping number 7 here because there's a oral exercise we would have done if you were in a face-to-face class. Going on to number 8 now. Good, so this is where we have to do a little explaining. All right, so remember we said inna, the word inna and its sisters, right? They are particles, all right? They are not verbs like Laisa and Kana and so on. Inna and its sisters, they are particles, all right? And they are applied to, just as in Kana and Laisa and so on, they are applied to nominal sentences. Apply to what? Nominal sentences, all right? So nominal sentence again starts with a noun and comprised of two main parts, mubtada and khabar. Mubtada and khabar, all right? So the mubtada we say is the word that normally starts the sentence. Now notice I said normally because we're going to see a little change in that normal arrangement in what follows, all right? So I want you all to pay attention here, please. We have, as I said, just imagine a picture the board that we normally would have in class. Nominal sentence starts with a noun and has two components, mubtada and khabar. Mubtada and khabar, all right? The mubtada is the subject of the sentence, the khabar is the information or the news about the mubtada, all right? We said the khabar, pay close attention to this, the khabar can comprise of one word, can comprise of a phrase, or it can even be an entire sentence in of itself. All right? Let me say that again. You have the nominal sentence comprised of two parts, mubtada and khabar. Mubtada and khabar. The mubtada is one word that starts the sentence. All right? Then you have the khabar, which can be one word, it can be a phrase, or it can even be an entire sentence. The khabar is the news or the information about the mubtada. Right? Good. And we said the inna normally is applied to a nominal sentence. Nominal sentence again, mubtada khabar. So you have the inna now being introduced to that, and it affects the mubtada in that it changes it into the case of nas. Nas. Remember, you have three cases for nouns: raf, nas, and jar. Okay, so the word will be marfu, mansub, or majrur. All right. So if that is the case, all right, with the inna being introduced, the mubtada, which is normally marfu, which would normally end with a dhamma, now has to end with a fatha. I want you all pay close attention to that, right? We said most words, now we did say we have some exceptions, some words which changes case not by the last vowel but by the aleph or the ya as the case might be, right? But normally a word would be showing it is in the case of rough with a dhamma on the last letter. Okay, look at the cursor on the screen here. So we're looking at this part here, the part in brackets. We're on page number 17 now, right? We're on page 17. So the part in the brackets is saying here, Asluhu, the original sentence. Aslu means origin, or the root of, right? So the Asluhu is this. This is the sentence here that we are talking about, right? So what is this sentence? Thalathu akhawatin li. Thalathu akhawatin li. 3 sisters I have, right? Or 3 sisters are belonging to me, or for me, all right? So the mubtada here will be thalathu, all right? And the khabar will be li. Li is the information about the mubtada, 3, all right? And the akhawat here is just the, well, for want of a better expression, is the mudaf ilay. So the mudaf ilay to this thalathu, all right? So we are allowed in Arabic to change around the words of a sentence, right? So we can put this khabar here at the beginning of the sentence. Goes in the beginning. Hold on. But we said the mubtada starts the sentence. I said normally the mubtada starts the sentence. And we are allowed, some cases, to bring the khabar now in the front. Start the sentence with the khabar. Does it change the sentence? It is no longer a nominal sentence. It's still a nominal sentence. The mubtada is still there. It just doesn't appear at the beginning of the sentence. All right? So that's how we end up with this sentence here now. Look at this sentence on this side here. What is the sentence? Li thalathu akhawatin. Li thalathu akhawatin. I have 3 sisters. I have 3 sisters. Where is the mubtada in this sentence? Where is the mubtada? Or rather, which word is the mubtada here? Which word is the mubtada? Which word is the mubtada? Thalathu. Thalathu is the mubtada here. Right? You all seen that? Anybody not following? So thalathu is the mubtada here. Now look what happens to the sentence when we introduce inna. What did I say just now? Inna starts, or rather inna is introduced into a nominal sentence. So we said this is a nominal sentence. Starts with the mubtada here, thalathu, right? And the khabar is li, right? So if we introduce it inna into the sentence, we said that the khabar, which we now call ismu inna, right, would be affected by the inna and will take the fatha, would be in the case of nasb. And in this case, it will take the fatha. So look how it changes here. So the sentence would have been li thalathu akhawatin. When we introduce inna, we get inna li thalatha fatha akhawatin. Right? So the original sentence, or the original arrangement of this sentence would have been inna thalatha akhawatin li. You all seen that? So we see here the inna, ismu inna, being affected by inna, therefore it takes the fatha. Alright? So this is how we end up with this. So this is what I wanted to go through. So all the other things here in this exercise, 1 to 6, are examples of this sort of arrangement. And let's see how inna affects these sentences. Alright? So we have this sentence here. Fil fasli khamsu tullabin jududin. Fil fasli khamsu tullabin jududin. The original sentence here would have been what? Khamsu tullabin jududin fil fasli. So there's a khabar here. Would have been in the back. Now it's going to the front, right? So this is what the original sentence would have been. So now that we know that this is the khabar, And we know that this here, notice how they did us a favor here, putting the Dhamma on top here. So we know that this here is the Mubtada, right? So therefore, we have here, if we put in inna into this sentence, we get inna fil fasli kasra khamsata fatha tullabin jududin. You all with me? Any questions? Let me just pause here. Any questions? All right, let's go through it again. Next one. Not again, but let's go on the next one. Nikki, you have a question?
No.
All right, I thought I hear.
Hear me?
Yeah, I see you on your mic now, so I thought you were going to ask a question. Oh. All right, he muted back now. All right, it's okay. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Right, so number 2, Rakam Ithnain, yeah. Lana mudarrisun jayyidun. Lana mudarrisun jayyidun. Right, so we introduce inna into that. We have the mubtada being mudarrisun. Right, so you'll say inna lana mudarrisan jadidan. Oh, jayyidan, sorry. Jayyidan. Jayyidan means good, right? So we have a good teacher. So if you put inna, you will see inna lana mudarrisan jayyidan. Right? Going again. Fi jaybi mi'atu riyalin. Fi jaybi mi'atu riyalin. In my pocket is 100 riyals. Put inna into that, you get inna fi jaybi mi'ata with a fatha riyalin. The only thing changing here is the dhamma changed to fatha because of the inna that we introduced at the beginning. Right? I'm hoping everybody following, right? So let's go again. Rakam arba'a. Original, this sentence is fil hindi anharun kathiratun. Fil hindi anharun kathiratun. In India, there are many rivers, right? So you put in inna into that, you get inna fil hindi anharun kathiratan, right? So notice here, we changing the mubtada here because of the inna we introduced. So instead of anharun, we will say anharon. Don't forget, whenever you have the tanween fatha, we introduce the aleph to go along with the tanween fatha. So you put the aleph of the after here, right? Anharon, tanween fatha on the ra, and the aleph after the ra. Okay? Kathiratan, tanween fatha over the tarmabuta. However, you do not put any aleph after a tarmabuta. Right? Even though it's tanween fatha, you don't put any aleph there. Right? Next one. Khamsa. Laka barqiyatun fi maktabil baridi. Laka barqiyatun fi maktabil baridi. Fil maktabil baridi. For you is a telegraph or telegram in the post office. For you is a telegraph or telegram in the post office. This is post office, right? Office is maktab and barid is post office. So if you introduce inna into this, you get inna laka barqiyatan tanwin fatha fi maktabil baridin. Maktabil baridin. Right. Last one, li alfu dolarin fil masrifi. لي ألف دولار في المصرف. So you put the inna into that, you get inna li alfan dolarin fil masrifi. Right? So I have $1,000 in the bank. This word is bank. I have $1,000 in the bank. So you put in inna, you get indeed or verily I have $1,000 in the bank. Right? Inna li alfan dolarin alfa dolarin fil masrifi. Right? Any question on that? So this is just basically a little variation to how inna is applied. Inna. We did inna a while back in the first book, and we explained it on the board and we wrote the examples and so on and so how it is applied. Alright? So this is a little variation to that application. Right? This is where the harfu jar and ismu majrur comes in front of the sentence, comes in front of the mubtada. Right? If there are no questions, we go on to the next. All right, we just do the new words here, and then we go on to the next exercise, the next lesson. All right. Kalimat al-jadidatu. Liqa'un is a meeting. Jayyidun means good. Jaybun is pocket. The plural is juyubun, juyub. Nahrun is river. Anharun, rivers. Barqiyatun is a telegraph. Barqiyatun, plural, telegrams, right? Masrifun is a bank. Masarifu, banks. Maktabul Baridi is a post office, right? So this is the end of lesson 2, or chapter 2 in this book. Are there any questions on this? 10 to 8 now, and if there are no questions, we move on to the next lesson. We'll just wait a minute or two if anybody wants to think about it. Again, while you all think about any questions or comments, I just want to remind us and recap quickly. This lesson 2 was basically introducing Lysa and its various forms. And Lysa, as I said, is one of the sisters of Kana, and is put into a nominal sentence and is used to negate the sentence, right? To negate what is stated in a sentence. Right? And then at the end here, we saw a variation into how inna is applied into a nominal sentence. Right? All right. So we're going to go on to the new chapter now. Ad-darsu thalith. Ad-darsu thalithu. So we're going to start reading, inshallah ta'ala. You could follow, and then inshallah, after we read the whole thing, we would go back over and you can read after me. Okay? So ad-darsu thalithu. So just at first just listen and follow in your books or on the screen. Alright? Ad-darsu thalithu. Ahmadu kam taliban fi faslikum ya Ali ya Aliyun kam taliban fi faslikum ya Aliyun Aliyun fi faslina arba'ata ashara taliban fi faslina arba'ata ashara taliban Ahmadu الطلاب في فصلنا أكثر فيه 19 طالبا. يا علي ما اسم الطالب الجديد الذي جاء أمس؟ علي اسمه أسامة. اسمه أسامة. أحمد هو طويل جدا. هو طويل جدا. أليس كذلك؟ أليس كذلك؟ علي بلى هو طويل جدا، ولكن حامدا أطول منه. ولكن حامدا أطول منه. إنه أطول طالب في فصلنا. ومن أطول طالب في فصلكم؟ ومن أطول طالب في فصلكم؟ أحمد أطول طالب في فصلنا إبراهيم. علي أدفترك هذا يا أحمد؟ أدفترك هذا يا أحمد؟ إن خطك جميل جدا. إن خطك جميل جدا. ما شاء الله. أحمد شكرا يا علي. شكرا يا علي. خطي جميل وخطك أجمل. وخطك أجمل. علي من هذا الفتى الذي معك يا أحمد؟ من هذا الفتى الذي معك يا أحمد؟ كأنه أخوك. كأنه أخوك. أحمد نعم هو أخي الشقيق. هو أخي الشقيق. علي أأكبر منك هو أم أصغر؟ أأكبر منك هو أم أصغر؟ أحمد هو أصغر مني. هو أصغر مني. علي في أي مهجع أنت يا أخي؟ في أي مهجع أنت يا أخي؟ أحمد أنا في المهجع الخامس. أنا في المهجع الخامس. وهو بعيد جدا عن المدرسة. وهو بعيد جدا عن المدرسة. علي أنا في المهجع الثامن. وهو أبعد من مهجعك. من مهجعكم. وهو أبعد من مهجعكم. أحمد أيهما أحسن؟ أيهما أحسن؟ علي المهجع الخامس أحسن، فإن غرفه أوسع ونوافذه أكبر ومراحيضه أنظف والسرر التي فيه أجمل. Right? So this is lesson 3 here, the end of the lesson here. It's basically a conversation between two students in two different classes, and you're comparing different things. You're comparing, first of all, how many students in each class. They're comparing who are the taller students in the class. Then um, they're comparing where they're living, how far they all of residences from the school, and then which one is better, which one has bigger windows, bigger rooms, and so on. Right? So, inshallah, next week we'll go over this again, with a little more detail, and then we'll point out and highlight some of the new, you know, sentence structures and things to look out for, inshallah ta'ala. Just a little heads up here, we will introduce here to numbers greater than 10. So far we did singular, we did dual, we did plural between 3 and 10. So here we introduce, the numbers more than 10. So arba'ata ashar, 14, and tis'ata ashar, 19, and so on. So numbers more than 10, between 10 and 20. All right? So you'll see how that is applied and the different rules pertaining to numbers between 11 to 20, sorry, right? From 11 to 20. All right, it's now 2 minutes 8. Any questions? Any comments? Corrections? Anything? Probably, yeah. Can't remember. All right, so I'll hand over to the Imam, inshallah. If you have any other comments? Inshallah, alhamdulillah, today we had 11 participants. So